Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen. I'm a passionate health educator, a whole food plant-based culinary coach, and a master herbalist. And I'm here with Dan, an exercise specialist and a wonderful master herbalist who brings his love of movement, herbs, and natural medicine to every conversation. So, together, we dive into the world of natural healing, combining traditional wisdom and modern science to help you achieve optimal health. So, today we are going to continue talking about the mind because it's just so important. In the School of Natural Healing, Dr. Schultz talked a lot about the mind, but then there's a lot of other resources as well. But our mind affects every single one of us. We don't realize what all our mind is doing for us. And something that we mentioned last week was how we have somebody who can be told you have, 2 weeks to live or something, and they either accept it and they die right away, or they say, no, I don't. How can you say that to me? And they live many, many years, right? And so our mind controls so much. But then there's also ways that our mind affects us outside of like a scary diagnosis. It can be something like, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, maybe even you shut down. Something that I call like the lizard brain or the monkey brain, where you get tied up in a bunch of different tasks. I know for me, at one time I was working 4 part-time jobs. I can't remember. Dan may remember. I was working so much. I was working from 7 a.m. to 7, 8 p.m., 7 days a week. And I felt like I couldn't even stop. It was like that lizard brain was going, like I couldn't even take a day off. And I could, but my mind was saying I couldn't. I was stuck in this, what I call the lizard brain. So, how should we start this conversation, Dan?
Well, I think that I think a lot of people are going to tune into this topic because I think that many people are battling their minds right now. How many people do you think has a lot of stress? Maybe they have trauma from their childhood. Maybe they're sick right now. And the doctors are saying, we don't know what's wrong with you because a
Right.
lot of doctors aren't trained to understand that stress in the mind can be the whole problem of your
Right.
illness.
Right. They have no idea. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if doctors don't even notice that food is involved, they definitely don't know
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
your
know.
brain is. Yeah. Yeah. And so our brain goes into these different modes for safety to protect
Mhm.
us. So our brain helps us with our survival. It, I call it the lizard brain because it's really fast, it's reactive, it's protective, but it doesn't care about what's going on with our long-term health. It doesn't care about our relationships or logic, like me thinking I couldn't take a day off. It only cares about keeping you alive. And it's just this high stress that's just on and on and on and on. And it's just like you're in danger all the time, though you're not. Like for me, it was working. It was like doing, just regular work. There was definitely nothing to be stressed about, but I perceived it as something very important. I had to do this. I had to do this. I had to do this. I had to do this and go on. And you're just stuck in that and it controls your body. And when it does that, when you're stressed, it moves your blood like away from digestion toward your muscles so that you could run or fight or something because you're in danger. Your heart rate goes up, your stress hormones go up, cortisol goes up, so your blood sugar goes up, and your brain kind of goes offline. We can't have that upper level thinking as well as connecting with others.
Well, and it's the modern day lifestyle. Tribal people, they understood all these things that we don't tend to understand. For example, the Native Americans, I read something about them. They understood that the body needed rest and relaxation. So a lot of the hunters, if they were about to go on a big hunt, they would take 1 week and just
Wow.
relax that week
Uh-huh.
before they would go on the big hunt because they understood that the body has to have downtime. So back then they lived in a way they lived by those cycles.
Mhm.
Now we don't. We was like now it's like willy nilly. If you're not busting your butt every day,
Right.
then you're a loser, right? But this is the thing,
Right.
and I don't think a lot of people understand this. I'm glad you just brought it up. Is that your body doesn't understand the stress of being caught in work traffic or the stress of a workout, and a workout's good for you,
Mhm.
but your body sees it as just another stressor.
Right.
And so a lot of people think, well, work's very stressful today. I'm gonna go work out to work. It's gonna relieve my stress. But actually, if you work out really hard, it just drives. And I'm not saying not to work out. I just want people to be aware
Hmm.
that your body cannot, it doesn't know the difference. Stress is stress for the
Yeah.
body.
I love that you said that. I love that you brought that up because I'm one of those people. I'd get all stressed out and I'd go, I need to go for a run to clear my head.
Yeah.
And so I'm all stressed out, and now I'm going to go stress my body on a run, right? And I would end up
Yeah.
getting sick, and I was sick all the time, couldn't figure out why I was getting sick, and it's because I wasn't what my body needed was to go do some yoga, go do some
Yeah.
stretches, maybe even go take a nap. The last thing my body needed was to go run it off. But
Yeah.
that's what I thought I needed to do, and that's what I would get up and do.
Well, one thing I'm starting to do now, because as I get smarter and smarter, I hope, is if I work out really hard, I actually, after my workout, if I have time, I will sit in my chair and I'll do my 10-minute deep breathing after I'm finished.
That's awesome.
And I will feel my body come down from that workout.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, the more you learn, the more you realize that, there's things that we should be doing to take care of ourselves as we get older. We have to make sure we're getting a balance of stress and a balance of downtime. If you don't, I'm telling you, if you're sick right now,
Mhm.
there's a really big chance that a lot of it is your stress. Big, a huge chance.
Yes.
I'd
Yes.
say probably 90%.
Yeah, I think you're right too. And you're saying that's awesome that you do your 10 minutes after. For me, I would go and work out and then skip the stretch and downtime. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not important. I don't really have time. I don't really need to stretch. But doing the stretching and bringing your heart rate down and letting your body know you're safe is so important. I had a doctor, my new doctor, I've been going to her maybe 2, 3 years now. She said, if you do go, like go on a run or something like that, she said, after your run, just lay down on your back in the grass.
Hmm.
It's like, is there a
That's
place
good.
you can go do that? And I was like, what? Are you crazy? But yeah, get that grounds you,
Yep.
connecting to the earth and tells your body, hey, I'm safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, really good coaches, they know this, like good physical coaches, they know that, athletic trainers, if they're training their athletes for a big event,
Mhm.
they know that they need to work with those athletes with relaxation techniques as well, because they found that if the athlete isn't relaxing, he's not going to recover as well. He's not going to perform as well. And, I want to get hung up on working out, but it's just another form of stress.
Right.
But then we have unfortunate people that have stress at home. And how do you get, I mean, I don't know. There's people that are in relationships
Right.
that are stressing them.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you're stuck in that stress mode, then you're not going to be sitting down and relaxing and having good open conversation.
yeah,
And so your relationships are going to suffer. And as I mentioned before, with the blood moving away from your digestion, that's going to affect your bowel movements. That's going to affect toxins in the body. That's going to affect whether or not you absorb
yep,
protein. So you can be
yep.
eating all the protein in the world, but if
Oh,
you're stressed out all the time, you're not creating the enzymes. You're not getting the appropriate stomach acid. You're not even absorbing all of that protein. That's how important our downtime is. Our blood sugar is going to go up because cortisol is up, which increases inflammation. So then you have more inflammation in the body. You're not going to repair from your workouts. And so your workout is even going to suffer. And then sleep. It's so hard to sleep when your mind is all over the place. And when all of those are out of whack, your hormones are out of whack too. Sex drive drops. as well as other hormones in the body. It affects your thyroid hormones, affects your adrenals, all of the hormones in your body.
It's a vicious cycle. So, when you're not digesting, then you start to get, deplete of nutrients. And then a lot of these nutrients, if you don't have them, that causes anxiety and stress, like, magnesium, even niacin, the B vitamin niacin. They used to use that in psychiatric care. They found that high doses of niacin would help people with their depression and anxiety. They don't do that anymore,
Hmm.
but they used to. We're talking probably back in the
That's
1950s. And
interesting.
that worked
Yeah.
really good too.
Yeah. I wonder what form. Now, medical disclaimer, we're not telling anyone to
Yeah.
go out and take niacin. There are different forms of niacin, and a lot of people will do titrate up with niacin to help with heart benefits. And we'll talk about that on another episode because that can create flushing and even itching of the skin and things like that. So don't go and do that without doing some due diligence on that. So we've been talking about the lizard brain. So that's I'm stressed out. I have this to do and I've got this long to-do list. I have to get through everything today. But then there's also something that I call the monkey brain, and I am definitely over familiar with the lizard brain and the monkey brain. The monkey brain is that a lot of people, the way they relate to it most is they wake up in the middle of the night and they can't get thoughts out of their head, those circulating thoughts. And so we're like worrying about things, we're over analyzing things, we're trying to solve every problem, right? We're replaying things over and over, the I should haves, I wish I had, why didn't I? Things like that, and then the anticipating. And so that's a whole nother layer, and that keeps us also in distracted. Our mind is totally preoccupied, and that obviously affects our sleep because that's when people experience it the most. And there are herbs that can help with that. But it's kind of, that's something we were talking about before we even got on the call. It's worry. Why do we worry, and why is that so dangerous for us?
Well, because it keeps us in a cycle. And I don't think a lot of people understand the cycle of stress. They may be in it, but they don't understand it. I have clients, and I see it every day. Because I've been there. A few years ago, I was a nervous wreck. How did I get out of that? Well, first of all, I had to realize that I was doing it with my brain and my thoughts. For a long time, I thought something was really wrong with me physically.
Mhm.
But it took me years to figure out it was all me. It's the brain.
Yeah,
And this keeps people stuck and they don't understand what's going on.
right.
So worry is just part of it. When you worry all the time, it keeps you in the cycle of the cortisol going up and some people are they're in it so long, their body stops producing cortisol. Their cortisol just goes boom.
Yep. Yeah.
And I just believe that now some people may disagree, but I think the way that we are living now as people is not good for us. It's not natural.
hmm I totally agree. I totally agree.
Um,
And maybe it's because we met through the School of Natural Healing. For those of you who don't know, we're all about how the body is made to repair itself. And I don't want to say we're anti-conventional meds, but we're pretty much anti-conventional meds, right? We like the herbs, we like the natural foods, we like things like that. And mind is so important when it comes to that, and nature. Like I was talking to a client earlier this week, and I thought even if they just shut down towers like on the weekends, I can't imagine how much healthier we would all become if no one could get on internet, no cell service, no internet, all that, just for the weekend.
yeah.
I can't even imagine how different our world would be. We just don't realize how much that has changed our lives. Yeah, so what can we do? You can't just will yourself to stop worrying. You can't will yourself to stop the monkey circulating thoughts or stop the survival lizard brain. But we can do like meditation. Now, when someone told me to sit down and meditate, I was like, ha ha, yeah, right. That's the last thing I'm going to do is sit still. But we do all have to find a way we can take little breaks. And so, like, I trained under Dr. Rita Marie. I work with her as well. And one thing that she recommends is you put your hands over your heart and just take a few minutes, like laying in the bed in the morning before you get out of bed. Just take a couple of deep breaths, 5 minutes if you can. And then before each meal, some people say a blessing or a prayer, or just looking at your food and being mindful of what you're about to eat, slowing your heart rate down before each meal. And then when you get in bed at night, doing it again. Maybe it's a couple of breaths, maybe you can do 5 minutes, but just that will give you at least four, maybe five breaks during the day of just telling your body, I am safe. Because if you're in danger, you're not taking those deep belly breaths. So slowing your breath helps to lower that stress response and will also help to clear your thinking.
And here's one. And the people that are in it right now, they'll understand this. You have to train your mind to stop being scared of the symptoms in your body. Okay, for me, when I was really bad, sometimes my stomach would just start spasming.
Yeah. Or
And I
headache.
was afraid, it felt like it was my heart. I was like, oh my God, am I dying? And some people get palpitations, they get racing hearts,
Yeah.
and they get in the cycle of something's really bad wrong with me. I must be really sick and I'm dying. And they stay transfixed on that. Some people go to the emergency room every
Yeah.
multiple times a week, and the doctor's like, look, nothing's wrong with you. It's your anxiety. But
Yeah.
they won't listen because they're just so sure there's something wrong with them and the
Wrong.
doctor missed it. But you have to train yourself, and this is the hardest part. You have to train yourself to like, okay, the doctor says I'm okay.
Yeah.
I have to train myself to like, okay, I'm going to sit here with these symptoms and I'm going to trust the doctor. I'm going to trust myself. This is just a symptom of stress and high cortisol.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people that check your heart rate all the time, you have to stop. If you don't stop doing that, you're going to stay in anxiety the rest of your life. I used to do it.
Yeah.
It kept me in anxiety. I don't check my heart rate anymore for anything
Yeah.
because it'll throw you back into the cycle. You
Right.
have to get used to these symptoms and not be scared of them anymore because as long as you stay scared of them, you're going to stay in the cycle.
I'm glad you brought that up because even just the trackers, like I wear an Oura ring, if you're wearing any kind of tracker, watches, rings, any of those things, if looking at that data is creating stress in your life, stop wearing it, putting it away, put it away, or check the data only one time a day or something like that. Don't be checking it all the time and having it stress you out. I've had mine stress me out. I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping. Oh, I'm not sleeping. And so then you worry about not sleeping and then you're laying in the bed going, why can't I sleep? And that's just making things even worse. And, or your HRV, if you study HRV, oh, my HRV is terrible. It's supposed to be this. I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to die anytime. Why can't I get my HRV to change? And that you can see even when I'm talking, it's like, oh, it's increasing that stress. So even the wearables are something that can lead to stress. So getting rid of that, stop checking daily throughout the day, different things like that, like your heart rate. But there are some other things other than like breathing and pausing throughout the day. There are some certain herbs that can help too. And one of the things that really helped me the most was having calming herbs. I drink an herbal tea in the morning and then I drink a bedtime tea at night just to help relax and get me centered. But it also creates a routine. So our bodies love structure and routine. It feels safe when things are predictable. And so if you can eat at the same time every day, if you can go to bed at the same time every day and get your body into that comfortable structure and routine, that's so helpful. But then let's talk about some teas that can be really helpful for calming the body. What's your favorite?
My favorite is chamomile.
I knew you were
I,
going to say that.
it's the one tea that I could drink and within 5 to 15 minutes start to feel it. I mean, relax.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, of course, another one would be well, hops is a good. I've never made tea with hops,
Oh, okay, tincture.
but I do tincture that one. I'm not saying you can't make hops tea. I'm sure you can. Obviously,
Right.
you can make any herb into a
It doesn't
tea.
taste really good,
Yes,
but
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Of course, people say, well, then I'll drink beer. Well, no, alcohol's not going to help you. So
No.
alcohol can help you relax, but the other things it does is definitely not worth it. It affects your liver, which creates more damage and keeps you from sleeping well as well. And so hops, yes, in the form of beer, no.
I know you make a lot of teas for relaxation. What's some of your
Yeah, my
favorites?
favorite is Tulsi, or you may know it as holy basil. And so that is one, excuse me, it's an adaptogen. It smells fantastic. So I'll gather it and dry it in the dehydrator, and then the whole house will smell like Tulsi. So we have aromatherapy even. So it's Tulsi's my favorite. Very relaxing, tastes delicious. Another one would be lemon balm. Lemon balm in studies has been shown to be as effective for anxiety as anxiety meds. Why is that not in the general studies? Because no one can uh, trademark it and market it and label lemon balm. If you've ever put a lemon balm plant in your yard, it's all over. Like I have 10 acres, we have lemon balm all over the place. And I don't mind because it smells delicious. It smells like lemon. It tastes like lemon. It's like perfect for the summertime, but it's also very relaxing and supportive.
Lavender. Lavender's another one. I tincture it. Have
Yes.
you ever made a tea with it?
Yeah, I make teas with it regularly. Like my
Yeah.
bedtime teas, I'll do valerian. So valerian is also very relaxing. Test it. It's not for everyone, but for me, I love it. Like even when I went to Costa Rica, I took a tincture of it and had a bedtime tea with it. And I drink a chamomile lavender tea. So chamomile and lavender together with my added tincture of valerian. I slept really good because last year when I went to Costa Rica, I was there 10 days and did not sleep at all for 10 days. And so that was terrible. So I went and bought valerian there and I had slept a little bit, but this time I was prepared and I slept great. But I'll do lavender and valerian because valerian smells like socks, dirty socks.
Yeah.
But it's very effective to me. The lavender kind of covers that up. Throw in some lemon balm. Wow, it's delicious, very relaxing. The holy basil I can drink alone or combine with other things. It smells so good. Rose can be very effective. Rose petals. Trying to think, I'm going through like ashwagandha is helpful for some people. It doesn't taste good at all, but that can be a nice relaxant as well. And then something like nettles. So minerals. Minerals are so important when we're stressed. When you're under stress, you burn through vitamins and minerals so quickly, and which is why you get tired. You get stressed out and then you get really tired. It's because you just burned through all of your energy systems. And so having something that is rich in minerals like rose hips for vitamin C and nettles for minerals.
Another thing I like about the ashwagandha and rhodiola, their adaptogens actually have been shown to lower the cortisol. So when we're in these spikes,
Yeah.
it can help our body, lower the cortisol because,
Yes.
that's the thing is, when I talk about this, I get it, it gets me anxious because I know how bad being anxious is for the body. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think about all the damage it could be causing.
Yes.
You just have to get out of your head. I mean, that's the thing that keeps you in that cycle. Now, I'm not perfect now, but if I have a symptom now, I'm like, you know what? I live a really good life. I really take really good care of myself. Whatever this is, it's going to go away. I'm going to tell you something. It almost always does because
Yes.
the body is self-healing.
Yes. That's how I am too. It's like, I know some tools to use. I'll use them. It's meant to be there for me to learn a lesson. I'm
Mhm.
going to use this and it's going to go away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some things which I wanted to say licorice root too. So licorice root is not good for everyone. It can raise blood pressure. It can increase pressure in the eyes, especially if you have a history of glaucoma. But licorice root is another one that is very helpful for lowering cortisol in some people. But back to that medical disclaimer, don't go taking licorice root and be careful. Like Yogi Tea, that brand, almost all of their formulas have licorice root in them. And so if you are sensitive, if you do have history of glaucoma, you want to read the ingredients. That's my number one rule for everything. Always read the ingredients, even on your herbal teas, even on teas that people recommend and say are really good. Always read the ingredients. Make sure you know what is in that product. So herbs are generally safe, but you want to know what you're putting in your body. So there are some foods that can increase stress. And so I do want to mention those real quickly before we go. And one is sugar. And so if you already have a lot of stress in your body, you already have high cortisol, your blood sugar is already out of balance. And so a lot of times we get stressed, then what do we want? I want some donuts. I want a cake. I want brownies. I want pizza, things like that that are higher in sugar and going to raise blood sugar. And so you want to make sure that you're choosing foods wisely. So it's hard to go, oh, I'm so stressed out, I'm gonna go eat a salad. And so yeah, maybe it's comfort food. Maybe it's steamed greens, maybe some beans and steamed greens. You could even make a bread out of like a lentil bread. I make a lentil bread that's like kind of like a cornbread, things like that. So foods that are going to be gentler and provide lots of vitamins and minerals. So try not to get any sugary foods or highly processed foods. And some people, I'm the opposite. I get stressed out. I want to stuff my face. Some people get stressed out and they don't eat. And remember what I said about structure and predictability. Your body feels safer when it knows you're going to be eating soon. It knows this is what we do, this is our pattern. So when you skip a meal, then your body gets stressed. Oh, why did we skip a meal? Am I in danger? Do I need to hold on to some fat and things like that because we're not having a meal? And so you do want to pay close attention to that. Are there any other foods that you can think of that we need to avoid?
Well, I would think that you want to avoid foods that can increase inflammation. So we're talking about any kind of processed crap. Ultra processed foods, they're showing now those cause a lot of health conditions.
Yeah.
But and like we said, inflammation is going to be is going to make any condition worse. So we want to do foods that are going to get it down. And I mean, if you listen to us for long enough, you know that we're plant-based, and
Yes.
it's a very anti-inflammatory diet.
Yes. No dairy, no gluten.
Oh yeah, especially no gluten. I mean, I think that everybody has some degree of gluten intolerance. Some doctors talking about it. The science says that they're saying 99% of people have some kind of intolerance to gluten.
Hmm.
It may not be full blown. You may not feel it, but
Right.
it's doing some inflammation in
Right.
your body. So,
Hmm. Yes, I'm glad you said that. Yes. So if you have been stressed or you feel stress in your body, maybe you didn't realize that the monkey brain and the lizard brain are creating stress for you. Focus on nutrition, nourishing your body with whole foods, whole plant foods, herbs, supporting your nervous system, even just putting your hands on your chest and just breathing in your belly, that's calming all by itself. If you can do that throughout the day, excuse me, that can be wonderful. If you wear a CGM, you can even see how effective that is in lowering your blood sugar. It's amazing. Use herbs to support what's going on in your body. Having some tasty herbs is going to provide some nutrition, and then even choosing some herbs that you know would be helpful for calming your body and providing minerals is so important. And trying to find structure and routine is calming for your body as well. If you liked this episode, please let us know. Like and subscribe to our channel. Share it with someone that you know could use some help with the monkey brain or the lizard brain. We'd love to hear from you. So comment, share. We want to know. Did you agree? Did you not agree? We always want to hear from you. But thank you for joining us. To learn more about Dan, go to danthenaturalman.com. To learn more about me, I am at Holistic Jen. That's with a W, WHOLISTIC Jen.com, holisticjen.com. Anyway, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week.